Well, joining me in the studio for this part of our programme tonight are Asghar Bukhari, spokesperson for the Muslim Public Affairs Committee UK, and on the line we have Amjad Bashir, a UKIP MEP for Yorkshire and North Lincolnshire. Welcome to you both. Let me start with you, Asghar Bukhari. I mean, the report suggests that people in the authorities there were afraid to say that the perpetrators were Asian and indeed to go after them because they felt it might undermine community cohesion or something. Do you think that was the right approach that they took?
I'm sceptical about this, and there's two things. If it's true, what incompetence. I mean, to not to go after perpetrators because they're brown and they may be called racist. But I'm not sure it is true. After all, thousands of Asians, Pakistanis, litter the prisons of Britain. Yeah, I think we're the Muslim community is the highest percentage according to our population in prison right now. So I don't think there's that much fear of locking Muslims up. And in this particular case, I think it's almost a cover for their own incompetence. So what they're saying is, we screwed up, but the real reason is we didn't offend the Asian community or the Muslim community, or whatever they're claiming. So I'm not sure it's true at all.
Well, Amjad Bashir, let me ask you the same point. Do you think there was some kind of caution on behalf of the authorities to go after this because they were worried about interracial harmony or integration or whatever?
I'm not sure myself. If it is true, I think it's deplorable. I think they didn't act on my behalf as somebody who belongs to the Pakistani community, British Pakistani, proud British Pakistani. They didn't act on my behalf. I would sooner have got these guys locked up straight away and brought to book. They didn't act on my behalf. I don't think any member of our community asked that to be done.
But do you think your community, if I can put it like that, because you've said our community, should have alerted the authorities to what was going on? Was there any way in which they might have known about this more than the authorities did?
If they did, they should have exposed them. They should have come forward. Unfortunately, I don't live in Rotherham. I'm not privy to this information. You know, I think that we have to abide by the law, and if we find that somebody, irrespective of which community they belong to, they have to be reported. We have to support the police. These were young, vulnerable girls, 1,400 of them. 3 reports have been issued. The authorities are to blame for not taking the action. They should have acted sooner. It's a gross neglect and incompetence, and they can hide as much as they are trying to do, but they have been grossly incompetent. And
Asghar, I mean, how do you think local authorities should deal with these cases?
I think, look, it's very simple. They've got their rules and they've got their regulations. The police deal with gangs all the time, whether it's, trafficking human beings to drug gangs or, gangs involved in all sorts of crime. This is just another gang involved in another heinous crime that's cost the lives of, destroyed the lives of so many people. They know how to tackle it, and that's exactly how they should tackle it. They're breaking gangs every day, all day.
Well, then why are they so incompetent in this case, then?
That's the question that needs to be asked. But what they can't do is say we're incompetent, and the reason why incompetent is because we were afraid of the Pakistanis. Sorry, you can't just blame a community. We can't blame the Pakistani community because we would be offended that you're locking up, paedophiles. What a disgraceful way to even, something to say, as if Muslims are going to be offended or Pakistanis are going to be offended that you're locking some Pakistani paedophile up. We'd be the first ones cheering them on. So no, it's a way of scapegoating our community, and it's a way of getting themselves off the hook. They are the ones that have let these girls down. They should pay the price, not us. Sadly, it seems many of the reports, it's the Pakistani community that will end up paying the price for this.
Well, Amjad, do you agree with that point? I mean, they are paying the price because at least the leader of the council has resigned now as a result of this.
Well, they haven't fully paid the price. I think he's done the honourable thing belatedly. I think the police commissioner needs to resign. After all, he was responsible for looking after these vulnerable people, and now he's the chief police commissioner for the area. He needs to resign straight away. And I don't think the book just stops with the community. The community are not involved. These are individuals who have broken the law, and these individuals have to be taken to task. I think the community does have a role to play. It should come out straight away and say with no hesitation that these crimes, these heinous crimes, were not done on our behalf. We condemn them, we vilify them, we ridicule them. And when we find people that are up to this sort of thing, we will point them out, and we will not, allow this to happen within our communities.
Just on that last point, I disagree. I don't think that the Pakistani community or the Muslim community, as they're always asked, if in this instance, we've got to come out and say, honest, we don't support it. If it's a terrorist attack, Muslims are demanded, why aren't you out marching against terrorism? Why should we have to prove to the wider community that we're not all criminals or we're not all terrorists? Why should we have to prove that? In fact, if anyone's asking us of that, the real question, the onus is on them. Why do you think that anytime there's an incident that everyone's involved? They're the problem, the people asking us to apologise or shout or condemn. We don't have to condemn anything. We don't have to apologise for anything. We're not involved. Anyone who thinks that just because one paedophile or 100 paedophiles happen to be Pakistanis, that all the Pakistanis are sitting around going, oh, it's normal news. We just give leaflets outside the mosque saying, become a paedophile. It's just crazy. And we shouldn't have to step up and try to tap dance to every racist demand.
How do you evaluate, Amjad Bashir, the media coverage of this story? I mean, do you think it's been sensibly handled?
No, I don't. I think that whilst the last speaker is right, we're not answerable for these crimes. But I think if you take it into context, I mean, this is not a crime just restricted to Rotherham. It's happened in Rochdale. It's happened in Oxfordshire. These were largely, we have to admit, they were largely people of Pakistani descent. They were up to no good. Every day we're getting blamed for what's going on in Syria, overseas. Pakistanis and Muslims going abroad in terrorism. I think we do have a responsibility of, whilst we're not responsible for these heinous crimes, of demonstrating that we're very good citizens, that we do condemn this, and, it's wrong, and we're part of the whole society that condemns it, and we should put our best foot forward and make these statements.
Forgive me for interjecting on that.
Yes, no, please come in. You obviously disagree.
I strongly disagree. I've never had a white guy come up to me and say, I know 95% of all crimes against young children are by white males. I'm not like them. I'm all right, because I never think they all are like them. So the fact that we feel that we have to come and say this shows there's a problem with the dynamic, with the society.
Bashir is too much on the defensive.
Absolutely. We shouldn't be on the defensive. In fact, we should be on the offensive. We should be saying to anyone who says that, how dare you? Why are you labelling a whole community for the crimes of one person? The politicians, right, have a paedophile investigation going right now. What are they, a white gang? When white people become politicians, do they become paedophiles? When they become famous, do they become paedophiles, like Jimmy Savile? No one says this because it would be ludicrous. In fact, it would be highly racist to say that. But as soon as it's the Pakistanis or the Muslims, then it's the normal currency. And instead of reacting like a white guy would do, if I was a white guy, or I said it to a white guy and said, what's up with you guys? Every time you become politicians, you become paedophiles. He'd go, what type of craziness are you talking about? But the Pakistanis don't say that because they're so slave-like. What they do is they go, yeah, honestly, I'm not like that. I'm okay. And we should all go on a march and prove that we're okay. I don't need to prove I'm okay. He needs to prove why he's such a, stupid person asking that type of thing.
You're accused of being on the defensive, so defend yourself.
No, with all due respect to my fellow panellists, I would take a slightly different view. I think that it isn't the case. I mean, when largely white people groom a girl to their effect, they do it individually. These are gangs of people. This type of crime is quite unique to this set of people.
Hold on. So can I just say, 95% of all crimes against young children is because of is by white males. So is that unique to them? Every time a white guy gets a loan with a child, he ends up doing something wrong. Is it that? Because in that analogy, that's what we're saying, right? It's unique to white guys then. If they're lone individuals, or that uniqueness is.
What happened in Rochdale? What happened in Rotherham? What happened in Oxford? were groups of Asian men grooming girls and passing them around. That's quite unique to this community.
Really? So what about groups of white males in Parliament passing little boys around? They're a gang, surely. That's unique to white males, isn't it?
But for us to deny this, I think, is also a dereliction of duty.
No, are you denying it? Forgive me, can I ask you, white males in Parliament right now who are paedophiles, are they a white gang that is uniquely white?
I think I must interject here. I don't think it's been proven that there are white gangs of MPs who are abusing children. Well, that's one man. You're talking about gangs.
In fact, reports have come out by the people who were objected to the abuse that they were taken to parties afterwards, taken to flats with number of MPs, shoved into the bath or the toilet and raped.
These are allegations. None of this has been proven.
I mean,
I think we have to be.
I don't believe the MPs. Perhaps you do.
Let me give another chance to Amjad Bashir.
I think we have to be rational. We have to get this in context. Largely, when white people have groomed girls, they've not done it in this way. This has been done in a systematic way, where they have thought that these white girls were easy targets and they can pass them around, and they left the Asian girls alone. I think
that's a lie. That's actually not true. In the report, Asian girls are involved in it and they were abused.
I think we'll have to end there. I'm sorry, it's a very lively and interesting discussion, but that's all we have time for. I'm sorry, Amjad Bashir and Asghar Bukhari. That's all the time we have. So thank you both for coming, and thank you all at home for watching. Remember, you can follow us on Twitter @Islam Channel and use the hashtag #TheReport to interact with both us and viewers on social media. We're back tomorrow evening at the same time. But for now, we'll leave you with some footage. It shows heavy flooding across Bangladesh, which has forced thousands of people from their homes and caused severe damage to crops. The officials have warned that the situation could even worsen as floodwater poured into the capital, Dhaka. Good night.